Christopher Nolan, one of the most influential filmmakers of his generation, has weighed in with serious concerns about the proposed merger between Warner Brothers and Netflix, a deal that is reshaping the future of Hollywood and altering the dynamics of the global entertainment industry. Known for directing blockbuster films such as Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, and Oppenheimer, Nolan has now stepped into a broader conversation about the structure, health, and long-term viability of the film industry itself. His remarks reflect a deep unease within the creative community about what this kind of corporate consolidation might mean for jobs, artistic freedom, theatrical cinema, and the overall ecosystem that sustains filmmakers and audiences alike. At the heart of Nolan's concerns is a proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers, one of Hollywood's oldest and most iconic studios, by Netflix, the global streaming giant. This deal, valued at tens of billions of dollars, would bring together two of the most powerful names in entertainment, combining Netflix's vast subscriber base and technological reach with Warner Brothers' storied library of films and franchises. For many industry observers, this represents a watershed moment, a shift from the traditional studio system, which has dominated filmmaking and theatrical distribution for decades, to a new model centered on digital streaming and direct-to-consumer delivery. Nolan's comment highlighted belief that this merger is a very worrying time for the industry, because it could lead to a significant loss of stability and jobs for those who make movies and television shows. In his view, the disappearance of Warner Brothers as an independent studio, subsumed under Netflix's corporate structure, could weaken the diversity and competitiveness of Hollywood. Major studios like Warner Brothers serve not only as production powerhouses, but also as curators of talent and tradition. They provide a range of opportunities for directors, crews, writers, and many other professionals who rely on a robust studio ecosystem to sustain their livelihoods. The integration of such a studio into a streaming-centric empire raises fears that many of those opportunities could diminish or even vanish. One key point Nolan raised is the concept of the theatrical window, the period of time during which a film is shown exclusively in movie theaters before it becomes available for home viewing on streaming platforms. He suggests that this window acts as a symbolic marker of how films are valued and distributed. Under the traditional model, a movie would enjoy a theatrical release, allowing audiences to experience on the big screen, often for weeks or even months before transitioning to home formats. This process supports not just theaters, but also a culture of shared cinematic experiences that many filmmakers, including Nolan, consider essential to the art of filmmaking. Under a Netflix-controlled Warner Brothers, however, there's widespread concern that this theatrical window could shrink or disappear entirely, with many productions destined to become streaming exclusives. This would fundamentally alter how films are released and experienced, shifting the emphasis away from theaters and toward at-home viewing. For Nolan, this is more than a business issue. It touches on the very soul of cinema. The loss of a robust theatrical culture, he argues, will be a huge blow to the industry, depriving audiences of the communal, large-screen experience that defines the medium. Beyond theatrical issues, Nolan's critique extends to broader questions of consolidation and job security. A merger of this scale inevitably leads to internal restructuring and redundancies. When two large companies combine, overlapping roles are often eliminated in the name of efficiency, and in Hollywood that could translate to fewer jobs for writers, directors, editors, technicians, and countless others who support film and television productions. This concern resonates especially strongly with labor unions and guilds whose members depend on steady work and protections that institutional studios have traditionally provided. These worries are shared by other voices within the entertainment industry, who have also expressed apprehension about the potential consequences of the merger. Critics argue that market consolidation, exemplified by one massive company controlling an immense library of content, could stifle competition, reduce the diversity of storytelling, and limit choices for creators and audiences alike. When fewer companies control more content, there's a risk that decision-making power becomes concentrated in the hands of a few executives far removed from the creative process, potentially prioritizing algorithm-driven content strategies over artistic innovation. Nolan, who also serves as president of the Directors Guild of America, has repeatedly emphasized that encouraging noises from corporate executives are not the same as binding commitments that protect workers and preserve industry traditions. His perspective underscores a fundamental tension between entertainment as an art form and entertainment as a scalable business model. particularly in an age where streaming platforms dominate distribution and consumption patterns. The potential implications of the deal extend beyond the United States. As global markets continue to embrace streaming, the way content is produced, marketed, and consumed is undergoing rapid transformation. Netflix's acquisition of a studio with the legacy and global recognition of Warner Brothers could redefine how Hollywood interacts with international audiences and how films are financed and distributed around the world. For audiences, the changes may be subtle at first. New films and TV shows will still be released, and beloved franchises will likely continue under new ownership. But over time, shifts in release strategies, production priorities, and content emphasis may become more pronounced. Long-standing practices such as long theatrical runs, staggered global releases, and even the types of stories told could evolve to fit a streaming-first world where immediacy, binge consumption, and platform exclusivity are dominant. Despite his concerns, Nolan has expressed openness to learning more specifics about how the combined entity plans to operate. His comments reflect a desire for concrete assurances rather than vague promises. He wants clarity on how jobs will be protected, how theaters will be valued, and how creative voices will be preserved in an environment that increasingly favors digital delivery over traditional cinema. The director's remarks come at a time when Netflix and Warner Brothers are moving forward with revised deal structures, shareholder votes, and regulatory reviews. Negotiations and approvals are ongoing, and the response from various industry stakeholders continues to unfold. Some industry professionals applaud the potential for expanded global reach and resources that a merger might bring, while others echo Nolan's caution, warning that the cultural and economic costs could outweigh strategic benefits. In this climate of uncertainty, Nolan's voice stands out not only because of his stature as a filmmaker, but also because of his role as a representative of directors and creators who are navigating the tension between artistic expression and the business realities of modern entertainment.